All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're going to peek behind the curtain of the music industry. We're diving into the top songs of 2024 and seeing how they're not just topping the charts, but actually shaping businesses and culture in some pretty cool ways. For this deep dive, we're using an episode of the podcast, The Haptic Soundscape. It's a really cool episode where they break down the business side of music, all through the lens of 2024's top 10 songs. So get ready, because we're about to uncover the surprising connections between these chart-topping hits, marketing strategies, branding, and even a little bit of AI. Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. It's fascinating how music can be so much more than just entertainment. It really does have the power to shape trends, influence how brands present themselves, and even impact how companies connect with us on an emotional level.
It's true. And before we get too far, let's quickly run through the top 10 songs of 2024 just to set the stage. Okay, so we've got Lose Control by Teddy Swims, Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, a bar song Tipsy by Shabuzi, We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love, by Ariana Grande, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Million Dollar Baby by Tommy Richmond, Gata Only by Floy Manor, and The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. It's quite a diverse mix, wouldn't you say?
It is. It really reflects those changing tastes of a global audience. And each song offers a unique perspective for businesses. For example, the episode of The Haptic Soundscape highlights how songs like Teddy Swims' Lose Control and Benson Boone's Beautiful Things show just how powerful raw emotion in music can be when it comes to attracting and building a dedicated fan base. It's that genuine emotional connection. That's what really resonates with listeners.
Oh, absolutely. Those songs definitely hit you right in the feels, and it seems like brands are really starting to catch on to this whole idea of emotional resonance.
They are. Instead of just listing off features and benefits, marketing is moving towards more storytelling. It's all about connecting with people on a deeper level, like tapping into those shared human experiences that bring out strong emotions.
Right.
Like, think about a commercial that tells a really heartwarming story. Maybe it's about overcoming adversity, or one that highlights a company's commitment to a cause that really matters to you. It's not just about pushing the product, it's about building that positive association through shared feelings.
That makes a lot of sense. I think sometimes it's not even the words themselves, but the feeling a melody evokes that really sticks with you.
Yeah.
And speaking of feelings, another interesting parallel between music and marketing that I noticed is this whole theme of empowerment.
Oh, for sure. A perfect example is Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. I mean, it's a powerful anthem, right?
Yeah.
All about strength and independence. And it really hits home with a generation that values authenticity and standing up for what they believe in.
And it's really interesting to see how businesses are picking up on that. It seems like more and more brands are incorporating these messages of empowerment to connect with their audiences.
Definitely. You see it everywhere now, like ads featuring diverse, confident individuals. And brands are really taking a stand on social issues, aligning themselves with causes their target audience cares about. That kind of messaging builds trust, fosters loyalty, and makes customers feel like they're part of something bigger than just buying a product.
It's like they're saying, hey, we get you, we support you, let's do this together. It's a really powerful message. And it's not just about individual empowerment either, right? It's about embracing diversity and inclusivity on a global scale.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Take the success of Floyd Manor's Gata Only, for instance. It blends those Latin rhythms with a global pop sensibility, and it just highlights the growing influence of Latin music worldwide. Smart companies are definitely noticing this shift. They're moving away from just generic messaging and are using music as a way to reflect that cultural diversity in their campaigns, creating content that genuinely connects with specific groups of people.
You know, it reminds me of those ads that use music from different countries to create a sense of global connection. They really stand out because they feel authentic and well thought out.
That authenticity is key. It's not just about slapping on any catchy tune. The music needs to really align with the brand's values and their overall message. And that actually brings us to another interesting observation, the power of simplicity.
You mean like how Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather proves that you don't need a massive production to create a song with real impact? Sometimes, less is definitely more.
Exactly. And we see that minimalism reflected in marketing trends too. We're just bombarded with so much information these days that brands are starting to realize the power of keeping their messaging clear and impactful. Think of it like editing. What can you trim away to make the message sharper and more memorable?
So it's about cutting through all the noise and getting to the heart of what you want to say.
Exactly. What's that one key takeaway you want to leave your audience with? Focus on that and deliver it with clarity and conviction. Just like a well-crafted song, a clear message resonates more deeply and has a lasting impact.
It's like finding that perfect hook or chorus for your brand. That's brilliant. Now, let's talk about how artists are using their music beyond the stage and partnering with brands in new and creative ways.
Yeah, this fusion of music and business is creating a ton of exciting new opportunities.
Like how the Haptic Soundscape talked about Shabuzi, the artist behind a bar song, Tipsy. They said that his unique storytelling style makes him a perfect fit for experiential marketing.
Right. Think about it. Shabuzi's music creates this really rich, immersive world, and it pulls listeners into his stories. That translates perfectly into experiences like pop-up events or interactive installations, where brands can engage consumers in a multisensory way, drawing them right into the brand's own narrative.
It's not just about putting a logo on a stage at a concert. It's about finding those artists whose style and message truly represent what the brand is all about.
Absolutely. And this leads us to another really fascinating aspect of the music industry today, the rise of AI and its potential to revolutionize how music is created and experienced.
Yeah, the Haptic Soundscape mentioned something called Haptic AI music, but they didn't really get into what it
It's
is.
really interesting. Imagine AI that can create personalized playlists for brands, perfectly tailored to their target audience and the mood or atmosphere they want to create.
Whoa, so like if I walk into a store, the music could change based on my past purchases. That's wild.
That's one possibility. Or think about AI that composes soundtracks for commercials that are designed to evoke specific emotions. It can make ads even more impactful. This tech has the potential to completely change how we experience sound and how we create these personalized sonic environments.
So what else can this Haptic AI music do?
Well, the Haptic Soundscape episode actually goes into detail about a company called Haptic R&D Consulting who are sponsoring the episode. They're on the cutting edge of this technology, using AI to curate those playlists, develop sound branding, analyze trends, and basically advise businesses on how to integrate music strategically.
So they're kind of like musical consultants for brands. That's amazing. It sounds like they're really leading the way in this whole music and business crossover.
Definitely. And they represent a larger shift happening within the music industry as a whole. We're seeing new business models popping up that go beyond traditional record labels and concert venues. It's creating all these opportunities for musicians, entrepreneurs, and tech innovators to collaborate and explore new possibilities.
It's like the music industry is becoming this vibrant, interconnected ecosystem with all these different players working together and innovating, driven by tech, changing how people consume music, and a growing realization of music's power to connect with us on a deeper level.
Exactly. And we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. But before we delve deeper into that, let's shift gears a bit and explore how some of those classic songs are finding new life and new revenue streams in today's music scene.
You're talking about Disturbed's cover of The Sound of Silence, right? It's incredible how a song from the 60s can top the charts in 2024.
It is. It's the perfect example of how reimagining those classic songs can introduce them to a whole new generation of listeners and create fresh income streams for both the original artist and those who cover them.
It's like taking a vintage piece of clothing and tailoring it for a modern look. You still recognize the original, but it's got a cool, updated vibe.
And we see companies using this strategy too. Think about those commercials that use iconic songs from the past to create a feeling of nostalgia and familiarity, instantly connecting with viewers on a deeper level.
Oh, it's so effective. Just imagine a tech company trying to appeal to a younger demographic using a song like Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. It's iconic, rebellious, and still speaks to young people today. Or picture a vintage clothing store using a song from the swing era, like Sing 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 by Benny Goodman. The upbeat tempo and that nostalgic feel would totally complement their vintage style.
Exactly. It's all about finding that perfect match, that song that enhances the brand's message and really resonates with their target audience. But it goes beyond just picking a popular song. It's about understanding what emotions music can evoke and how it can be used to tell a story, create a specific mood, and ultimately connect with people on a deeper level.
So we've talked about a lot here. Emotional connections, those empowerment anthems, global influences, the power of AI, and the resurgence of classic songs. What's the biggest takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the key takeaway here is that music is no longer just background noise. It's become a strategic tool for brands and businesses to build connections, drive engagement, and shape culture.
It sounds like music has really leveled up, from entertainment to an essential part of the main event.
Exactly. And understanding how music influences consumer behavior, marketing trends, and even business strategies is absolutely crucial for anyone who wants to stay ahead in today's constantly changing world. But before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive into the business of music, I want to leave you with a little something to think about.
Oh, I love these thought-provoking questions. Hit me with it.
All right, so if your life had a soundtrack, what song would be playing right now? And what does that song say about where you are in your own journey?
Ooh, that's a good one. We'll let our listeners ponder that for a bit while we get ready for part two. We'll be back soon to dive even deeper into this fascinating world of music and business. Stay tuned.
Definitely. Lots more to uncover.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're jumping right back into our exploration of the music industry and how it's shaping the business world. It's pretty amazing to see just how connected these two worlds really are.
It really is. And in this part of our deep dive, I kind of want to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture of what we've been talking about. We were just discussing how brands are using music to connect with consumers on a more emotional level, right? But it's so much bigger than just marketing campaigns. It's about creating a whole brand experience that really speaks to people's values and what they want out of life.
So you're saying it's not just about a catchy jingle in a commercial anymore. It's also about the music playing in the store, the soundtracks on their websites, even the background music they use in their employee training videos.
You've got it. It's about creating this consistent sonic identity, one that reinforces the brand's message at every touch point. Think of it like building a sonic ecosystem for the brand.
That's a really cool way to think about it. It's like every brand has its own musical DNA.
You got it. And just like our own DNA is unique, a brand's sonic identity needs to be distinctive and memorable. It needs to help them stand out from the competition and leave a lasting impression on people.
So how does a brand even go about creating this sonic ecosystem?
Well, it all starts with understanding the brand's core values, who their target audience is, and the emotions they want to evoke. Then they need to find the right music that embodies all of that.
It sounds like a pretty tricky balancing act. Finding the right music that appeals to their audience while still staying true to the brand's own identity.
Definitely. And it's not just about choosing a few good songs either. It's about crafting this whole cohesive soundscape that creates the right atmosphere and experience.
And that's where those AI music curation tools we talked about earlier could really come in handy. Imagine AI that could analyze a brand's values and target audience and then create custom playlists that perfectly match their sonic identity.
That's exactly where things are headed. And it goes even further than just playlists. AI could potentially even compose original music specifically tailored to a brand's needs.
Wow, that's both really exciting and a little bit unsettling. What role will human musicians and composers play in this future where AI is doing so much?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Speaking of million-dollar questions, let's talk about the business side of music. Our source material mentioned that the Haptic Soundscape podcast is sponsored by a company called Haptic R&D Consulting.
Yes, and they specialize in helping businesses leverage the power of music and innovation.
So they're kind of like musical consultants for brands.
Precisely. They offer services like those AI-curated playlists we talked about, sound branding, trend analysis, and strategic advice on how to integrate music into different parts of a business.
It sounds like they're really at the forefront of this fascinating intersection of music and business.
They are. And they're a great example of how the music industry is evolving beyond those traditional record labels and concert venues. New business models are popping up all over, creating opportunities for musicians, entrepreneurs, and tech innovators alike.
It really feels like the music industry is becoming this vibrant ecosystem with all these different players collaborating and innovating. It's really exciting.
It is, and this whole evolution is fueled by technology. The way people consume music is changing, and there's a growing awareness of music's power to connect with people on a deeper level. But it's not just about making money, it's about making a difference too.
Absolutely. Music has that power to inspire, to heal, and to bring people together.
Think about how certain songs become anthems for social movements, or how charities use music to raise awareness and funds for important causes.
It's true. Music is a universal language that transcends cultural boundaries and connects us on a human level.
Exactly. And that's what makes the future of the music industry so exciting. It's not just about entertainment, it's about making the world a better, more connected place.
Couldn't agree more. It seems like we're only just beginning to understand what's possible. I'm really excited to see where all of this goes.
Me too. And speaking of exciting possibilities, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring this connection between music and social impact even further.
I can't wait. We'll be back soon to finish up our exploration of the fascinating world of music and its impact on business, culture, and society.
Welcome back to the deep dive. As we wrap up our exploration of the music industry, I'm still kind of processing everything we've uncovered about music's growing impact.
It's definitely been a journey, hasn't it? Exploring how music shapes the business world in these really impactful ways. From that emotional resonance to AI, we've really seen how music has become so much more than just something to listen to in the background.
It's been eye-opening, that's for sure. So for this final part of our deep dive, I'd love to focus on what this all means for the future. Like, what are some of the trends we should be paying attention to? And what new opportunities are out there for both businesses and musicians? Well, one trend that's really gaining momentum is this idea of personalized music experiences. We've already got streaming services that curate playlists based on what we listen to, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
You mean it's going to get even more personal than that?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine AI systems that factor in not just your musical taste, but your mood, where you are, even things like your biometrics.
Wait, hold on. So, like, the music could change based on my heart rate. That's kind of crazy.
It is. Think about working out at the gym, and the music adapts to how hard you're pushing yourself, keeping you motivated. Or picture walking into a store, and the music shifts to create a relaxing vibe that makes you want to stay and browse.
That's incredible. It's like having a personalized soundtrack for your life that changes right along with you. What kind of possibilities does this tech open up for businesses?
Well, this level of personalization gives businesses a really powerful tool to create truly immersive and engaging experiences for their customers. Think about personalized soundtracks in hotel rooms, restaurants, even theme parks. The potential is huge.
It's like music is becoming this portal to completely different worlds.
In a way, it is. And this actually ties into another really exciting trend, the rise of spatial audio and those immersive technologies. Like, remember those headphones that make you feel like you're right in the middle of a concert hall?
Oh, yeah. I love those. They make everything feel so real.
Exactly. As those technologies become even more sophisticated and easier to access, it opens up a ton of opportunities for businesses to use music to transport people to different places and create those unforgettable experiences.
That's a great point. And it leads perfectly into something else I wanted to ask about those virtual concerts and music experiences. I've heard about artists performing in virtual reality. It seems like a whole new level of live entertainment.
It's not just about recreating real-life concerts in a virtual space, though. It's about designing completely new and imaginative experiences that would be impossible to do in the physical world.
Do you have an example? I'm having a hard time picturing it.
Sure. Imagine a virtual concert where you can fly through the air, interact directly with the artists, and even influence the music in real time. It's this whole new frontier for musical creativity and audience engagement.
That sounds amazing. Plus, it creates opportunities for both artists and fans all over the world. Like, you could go to a concert in Japan without ever leaving your house.
Exactly. It breaks down all those geographical barriers and allows for a truly global music community. But with all this talk about AI, virtual reality, and these super personalized experiences, it does make you wonder about the human element. Like, will music become too automated, too impersonal?
I've been thinking the same thing.
It's a valid concern, but I really believe the human connection will always be at the heart of music. Technology can enhance and expand our experiences, but it can't replace the raw emotion, creativity, and genuine connection that comes from human expression.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, that balance between technology and human touch.
Exactly. When we use tech to amplify human creativity, that's when we create those truly special experiences that are both innovative and emotionally resonant.
It's like this beautiful duet between humans and machines, each playing their part in this grand symphony of innovation and emotion.
I like that. That's the beauty of the music industry. It's always changing, pushing those boundaries, finding new ways to move us and connect with us on a deeper level.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've explored so much: the emotional power of music, the rise of AI, and the future of how we experience music. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
I hope our listeners walk away with a new understanding of just how important music is. It's more than just entertainment. It's a force that can shape our world in some really incredible ways.
Well said. So the next time you hear a song, take a moment to really listen, not just to the melody, but to the story it tells, the emotions it evokes, and the connections it creates. You might just discover a whole new world of possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the business of music. Until next time, keep those soundtracks playing.